James, I have to tell you, tonight has been a whirlwind. The problem
100 miles an hour.
And the problem with me is I wish the audience was, I wish we were nonstop. We had to stop for a few minutes because I'm keep getting pulled away. Somebody comes by and gives a yell to me. Somebody came by and gave a yell to you. You're off. We're off in different directions. And then that one leads to seeing another person, to seeing another person, to seeing another person. And right now, our good friend Rob Darden is in the house.
Is giving us the cold shoulder. Right
no,
now.
Rob's coming
He's
in.
So
let him come in and say hi.
Rob Darden. For those that don't know, Rob's son Andrew worked for us for a while. Rob Darden in the house.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Nice
Wonderful, Rob.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Everybody should know that this is the first time that Rob and I had the pleasure of meeting in person live.
Wow.
I've met Rob so many times, it's not even that special.
It's almost
anymore.
roles have reversed. You know?
We love being with Rob. We had him on the show. For those that don't know, the
lost
episode. So I think it was maybe like 3 months later, Rob finally slowed down and went,
Hey,
so did my episode ever?
You filmed this thing in February, and my son, who used to work for you guys,
Andrew Darden.
Shout out.
Yeah.
said, "Hey, Dad, I thought you were going to be on that Jimmy James thing."
Yeah.
I said I was. Right. So I emailed you guys, and you're like,
Oops.
Yeah. And then you know where it was? It was on my
in the
computer.
search file.
It was on my computer the whole
My
time.
question was it that bad that you deleted it?
Yes. Yeah. And it was a great episode.
Yeah, it was one of the
And then the funny part is that was the first time that we started to do these mass tapings, recordings.
Yeah.
Oh, this
that's
first one.
what-
and that's why I got lost.
That's what we tell people.
That's the
when we
truth.
lose our
I believe
episode.
it.
That's the truth. Give us your overall thought
I've
of.
got it even better.
Go
Rob,
ahead.
tell us what you're speaking about. I heard you're a panelist on a panel of one.
Panel of one. My panelists have bailed on me. Yes.
Tell us what you're speaking on and give everybody a little sample of it.
Just we're what am I talking about? I have no idea. No, I'm talking about DCA.
Yep.
So Distribution Contract Association, and what we're doing and how we're doing for the industry on the workforce issues, on OQ, on pipeline safety management, on the contractor side. So we've got 40 minutes on Thursday afternoon, and so if 5 people show up, we'll be good.
There are at least 5 people
There are
here.
at least 5 people watching.
And there
so
may be half of those people here Thursday afternoon.
that'll work.
Steve Allen told me if he wasn't flying out, he would totally be there.
So
Yeah.
Steve, he was my backup.
I know he said that.
Really.
Wow. Hey, what do you think about the AGA this week? Getting back out here, how's it been? How's it been talking to people, shaking hands,
It's just
kissing babies, as we say?
It's just great to see people,
Isn't it?
It's so
It's
much. It's so good to see people face to face. We had our annual convention in July here in
Yep.
Orlando. We had 400 people show up. We
Happy with that.
250, 300.
Yeah.
We had 400. And it's just wonderful to see everybody here in person. I was
And I'll
talking to Karen Harbert. She said 1,800. Christina said here's close to 2,000.
Yep.
Over 200 exhibitors.
It's good.
It's fantastic. Look, the industry wants to get back together.
We'll find the way, right?
The vibe is great, isn't
The
it?
vibe
That's
is
what
great.
my daughter always says. The vibe is good.
And you have to be excited a little bit of seeing this because, you've got a DCA event, coming down the road a little bit. And I was telling somebody earlier, just seeing AGA do this, we're doing it safe, we're out here, and I think it'll kind of set a tone for SGA here in a couple of weeks, another big show, and some of the others, and get some momentum as we go into 22.
Yep.
Okay, so we're all knock on wood,
Amen.
hopeful that the pandemic is slowing down, and God bless everybody who's been affected by it.
Amen.
But hopefully that things are turning the corner and we can get back to some sort of normality, whatever that is. But,
Amen.
Well,
you know,
Rob,
it's just great to be here.
well, good luck at your speaking panel of one. It's great seeing you in
Great to see
person.
you too.
Thank
Good
you,
to
Rob.
finally meet you.
I'm not being
Absolutely.
heartless. I hugged him earlier. I mean,
I don't have the green dot. I understand this is the green dot.
Oh,
I
the green dot means that you're
approachable, handshakeable,
So
huggable.
I need to go get a green dot because I'm a hugger. So
I'm a hugger too.
okay. That's between you two. Okay, easy now, fellas.
Rob, it's good to see you. Tell
Good to
Andrew
see
we
you.
said hello.
thanks again.
Thanks again.
Good to see you. Good luck to Thursday. We have Jon Smith going to join us too.
Oh, John, our friend Jon Smith is here.
Jon Smith. For those that don't remember Hydromax USA, we had John on.
Thanks for coming
Y'all
by.
want to reach over the table like no man.
Have a seat. Join us.
Are we hot right now?
We are
We're
hot.
just going
I
in
was
hot.
like, no, when I got a hot mic, so.
This is it. No call signs right now. We'll keep that confidential. See what I did there?
Nothing but coffee here. I do. Don't judge my reactions based on. I mean, it doesn't show how good or bad your humor is.
It's always
over
bad.
it. Yeah.
So you're
John, y'all are big sponsors here.
huge sponsors. Great booth.
I think we have a big event later
Yep,
tonight
later tonight.
that we're going to be a part of. Tell everybody how AGA is going, what Hydromax USA is doing.
Yeah.
You're a friend of the show.
Yeah.
Be on there soon again.
Yeah.
We're working on something with
We're
you.
working on a
Tell us
repeat,
how
a very
AGA
soon
is
repeat.
going. And
First of all, I'm really glad to be with you guys and to see you guys in person.
In
which is
person.
such a fantastic thing.
Yeah.
We
So
talk
weird.
So much.
I used to see him in a little box.
Yeah, I know. I
And
know.
it's hard
He
to
looks a
put
lot
Jimmy in a
taller.
box.
He looks a lot taller here.
See,
Well, man, everybody always says that. They're like, Jim, are you like normally 5'2"? I'm like, no.
everybody has said
Nothing
I've
wrong
been
with that, though.
thinner and taller than I expected, which
Yeah.
really makes me want to work out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what can we be, right?
Tell us how AGA
No,
is going.
I'll tell you, first of all, so glad to be here.
Amen.
Because this is,
Cheers to
seeing
that.
people out, seeing, a lot of the connections that we've all made over the years and things like that. See such a great turnout.
Yes.
I think it's
Yeah.
really,
I'm really
gives me a
happy
lot of
with it.
optimism for the other events that are coming in the fall.
Yep.
Seeing everybody doing things safely.
Yep.
That's the first
So
part.
we were talking.
That's our whole industry, right? It's
Yeah.
safety first. So it isn't alien to us. But I think the biggest thing for me is just looking at overall the industry and where it's come since the last time we were all together.
Yeah.
But since the last time we were all together, you see some of both the vendors and you see some of the companies we're talking to. There's a shift in what people are looking for, a lot more on the transformation to digital solutions. And from the vendor side, I think there's such a broad, inventory of items that if you can't find what you need for your business here,
You're probably not
you're
looking.
probably not looking
Yeah.
at the place.
You don't know how to look for it.
Yeah.
We,
So that's
we were
what
talking
really is.
about how, because we're catching that same vibe, how
Yeah.
like everyone is open and receptive and talking and listening. And I think having 2 years off to really get your house in order,
Yeah.
really know what your true issues are, your gaps are. And then everybody's coming out like, now I'm ready to shop. Now I know what I don't want,
Yeah.
and they're out here working. And that's great for vendors. I mean,
Yes.
for us, I don't want to say we've gotten stale, but like we were out here doing the work, but people just, you get used to it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like we did
Complacent,
at home.
you wanna say?
Complacent,
Well, but I think overall these last couple of years also exposed some of the vulnerabilities, some of the things that people were talking about before
but it wasn't real.
are reality.
Yeah. That's a good
and
point.
Some of those things that are moving forward in this industry, the focus on the environment, on reducing methane,
Yes.
on
Yeah.
helping the overall energy industry by having energy options, and natural gas is one of those.
Yes.
Huge.
And the education of that
more
aspect too. The
Yep.
education,
Yeah.
because we talked about that before, that a lot of people are unconscious.
Standoffish.
Well, a lot of people are also unconsciously incompetent, meaning
No doubt.
they just don't know what they don't know.
Perfect
And
way
if,
to put it.
and if they can become at least consciously incompetent to know that they don't know things, and then they can learn to
At least
become,
become receptive.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
receptive to
Well,
it. So,
The biggest thing for us and for Hydromax USA is we want to help all these customers accelerate towards their goals.
yep.
And they're all getting new goals from the board, whether it be ESG, whether it be compliance, regulatory, whatever it is. That's what we're here for. And I think that's what I'm seeing now in the industry is people want to accelerate.
Yeah.
They've realized now that standing still, and the other thing that brought out is, especially the CEO seat, don't tell me something can't happen.
Oh, man.
I mean, that's the real thing in business planning now is don't tell me something can't happen. You need to think about alternatives and what we call military war game this stuff.
Right.
So even after you have a plan, you better be war gaming it because you got to figure out what to do in a contingency. And as leaders of businesses, you can't stand still. Like what you were saying, a lot of this industry just stood still.
But I felt like Brian Dressel is looking at me right now from our team, and he's saying that sounds like normalization of deviance, right? Like so over time, you slowly just get more complacent, and more, and you just allow things to go a little bit, slip a little bit more over time, and a little bit. And I think we all got jarred and woke up, and we're like, it doesn't have to be like this. We can go to work. Let's go to work.
I would say complacent in some ways, but it wasn't broke, so why fix it, right? So that's what the mentality a lot of people had, not realizing there was a big hammer there waiting to break it.
Yeah.
And so, 3 years ago, who would have seen times when, we're all getting vaccinated and showing your shot card to go into a conference like this safely. We wouldn't have thought of that last time we were all together.
No.
So it's really changed a lot of thought.
John, and I hope it's okay I bring this up, but we kicked off a mental health series of probably a month ago now.
Yep.
But you reached out to us about the topic, and I just want to dive into that just a little bit to talk a little bit about what we have in the works and what we hope to bring to people. If you just want to take just a minute and talk about some of maybe something we're not discussing a lot and probably should be discussing a lot more of.
Well, you're exactly right. And I think when it comes to mental health, and specifically when we started talking was around veteran mental health, there are a lot of events in the world. I saw it in my teams. I know other people in other companies. You guys know my vast background working with veterans and energy.
Absolutely.
And really, it really woke me up to a couple of things. It woke me up in a couple of ways about how I felt on some things. But it's not only veterans, it's overall in general. I think you guys had a great statement that you posted, which was, if as leaders of a business, you're not talking about this right now, you better be, because you're missing it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't have agreed with that more. When I read that, it just, that was it. And so I think, we've got some things we're talking about to have an upcoming discussion about how do you change your leadership to understand where that is. There are some different requirements of leaders, especially C-suite, whatever, even leaders in the field. Today, to understand and be aware of things than there ever were before. COVID changed that.
Yeah.
And so we got a great discussion coming up about just some opportunities on how to think a little differently about it, how to help, and how to be an avenue for changing one person.
And you and I talked about that. We can affect one person positively. It's all worth it. Every bit.
Yeah. And so there's some different characteristics in leadership when you're talking about mental health issues. And look, I'm not a doctor.
No,
neither are we.
Disclaim that every time.
I had 1 semester of psychology.
Also, I'm not a money manager. I'm not.
But I do have some lessons learned over time, both personally and as a business, as a person, just dealing with people that I've learned. And for me personally, it has changed the way I lead. And some of the things some of the discussions that we have as a company that I know are now with me. So it's going to be a great opportunity.
We're excited for it.
You hit something. I just want
to go ahead,
real
please.
You talk about leading, and something I try to drive home with our teams is like, you can lead from anywhere. It's not a title, right? I mean, you can lead your household, you can lead your family, you can lead your church, you can lead your group, whatever that is. And this is one of those discussions when we talk about leadership and leaders, that we're talking about leading from anywhere. It is not a title, CEO, a VP, it doesn't matter. We're talking about leading from where you're at and leading where you have influence.
Yes.
And
it's really what I used to refer to as leading somebody out of the mountain.
I love that.
That's really, I had it referred to me as that way when I was in the military.
Love it.
We started to realize this thing called PTSD.
Yeah.
And it was about taking one person and leading them out of the valley. And it didn't matter if they were a military member or one of your employees and that. It could be a family member of theirs that you, just through your guidance, you help them help their family member.
Yeah.
So it really has far-reaching just tentacles to go out and really touch people.
I love it. I'm
It's gonna
excited.
be awesome.
No, me too.
I'm excited in a way that I guess my excitement is just getting back to it about bringing something of awareness or understanding, whatever you want to call it, to somebody out there. And the exciting part where you just said, even if we just touch one person, that one life could touch 100 other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could. It could. So I'm really excited to be back with you guys, meet you in person, and be here and be sitting here in your.
What a blessing.
Yes.
What a great setup you guys had here. I love the
We love
colors.
it, man. We leaned straight into Miami Vice.
Oh, yeah.
Crockett, Tubbs, or Tubbs and
I've
Crockett?
been called Tubbs my whole
Well,
life.
that's another side.
John, we appreciate you stopping
Oh,
by.
thank you guys.
We will
Yeah.
see you later.
You're
See
a
you
good
later.
friend.
Yep.
We are proud to
Like
call
it or
you our
not.
friend.
Yeah.
Same here.
Absolutely.
We look forward
Absolutely.
to the episode coming down the road.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
Man, have a good conference.
Let's
brother.
make the future
We'll
better.
see you later.
let's
All
do
right.
I
it.
love
Thanks,
it.
John.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Love it.
Audience, what a great
John,
guy he is. You know,
John, we've got to know John very quickly. You want to scoot that way just a tad?
gosh, I
We-
feel like you're sitting in my
I
lap.
know. Do you want? Oh, that's an option as well. You know, John has been very, very
Thanks,
cool
John.
friend that we met through all this, and one of many that we've got to shake hands with for the first time at this
Agreed.
event. If AGA has done nothing for me personally, it has been that moment right there. Just
It's all worthwhile,
when
isn't
I
it?
got to hug Jon Smith, I got to hug. There's a laundry list. It's
Oh, wait.
never stopped. I mean, not that I wouldn't have done it. You did it too. You've known him longer, but
Yeah.
for me, it's been. I didn't know how many people truly, because you don't know. We look at stats, we look at followers, we look at all that stuff. And honestly, if you looked at that every day, you'd probably not want to do it. You know, and so we know our industry lurks around, and, you know, they listen, don't listen kind of thing. And we've had more people. Somebody
That's
came up
it.
to me and said, "Aren't you that podcast guy?" Like 3 or 4 different people. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I guess.
Yeah,
That
that happened to me today too, and people that I know in the industry, as well as people that I don't know in the industry, or somewhat know.
people
And
I respect in the industry have come by and said that they, I mean, we just had 2 of them on.
Yeah.
Rob Darden came down and gave me a big old hug, you know?
I mean, yeah, it's absolutely great. James, let's take a
Go
break and
break.
get let's get our next guest lined up.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back after the station break.
Let's go.
Well, we are back again. We were on the road gallivanting around the exhibit hall. We made it back with a very special guest, Mr. Russel Treat from Pipeliners Podcast, pipelinerspodcast.com.
That is exactly right. Thank you for the shameless plug.
Well,
I'm
you know-
sorry, I'm doing the shameless plug.
No free sponsors.
I'm
I just before we get going, I got
Yes.
I got to tell the coffee guys that I have booth envy because
Oh,
these guys are set up. They got these fancy backlights.
Do you hear that, Coleman?
They got the 4 wide. I do have a better camera.
You do.
But beyond that, you're
we're
like
low
on a
budget,
whole nother
but
level.
we're
Wait,
on the come
Did
up.
that include, do I have to pay? Oh, that's
No,
later.
that's later.
Oh, sorry.
When we go on his.
Yeah.
Russell, you inspired us. I won't lie. You know, as you know, we sponsored
Yes,
this.
you're one of our
Yes.
early sponsors.
Yes.
We really appreciate it.
And when I saw how fun it was selfish for me. And I just drugged Jimmy along and was like, you got to try it, man. And he needed a platform.
Yes,
Jimmy
I
was
did.
in a corner, just,
Shaking.
there was nowhere to go, no
I can't go to
events
a
to go
trade
to. He was freak. I'm sure you're the same.
You know,
but
pretty
you had an
much.
outlet, you know.
Well,
You
pretty
didn't.
much. And I think the podcast is really therapeutic during the whole shutdown thing.
Oh,
because I was
absolutely.
still reaching out, meeting new people and getting connected and
I can't
learning new
imagine not
things.
having-
But oh my gosh, it's so good to be here with real people again.
Yes.
I mean, the
Amen.
attendance is not what it's been in the past. It's probably 60, 70%, but The conversations are awesome. Everybody's so glad to be here and be talking to folks.
So inspired.
And it's like, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like a lot of the conversations we're having with customers about opportunities and projects, it's like they're probably more open and willing to talk than I have ever seen them
We
be.
were just having that conversation over with Hydromax, how innovation is just busting.
And people want to talk about it and they want to share and they want to talk about ideas and how to be better and cross collaboration, even if it's not even official.
Well, that's
people just
always
want to
been
bounce ideas.
always been
That
the
was
case
our-
in our business. It just seems like for some reason now, I think another thing too, for those of us that are actually here at AGA, this is operators, vendors, the entire community. For those of us that are actually here, what's very cool about that is that, like, okay, these are the people who are really committed to this industry, committed to this market, committed to gas utilities. Because if you weren't, you wouldn't be here. So we got
a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. It's a lot of cost. There's some risk associated with it. And it's not the same kind of benefit because the attendance is a little lower. But it's like, okay, I've got my real people here. We just let the frat members in the house this time. We're not letting all the wannabes in the house.
Oh,
Yeah, really, because this year probably is a little different compared to, some people would have saw this as a vacation event. I mean,
Orlando,
and showed
Florida.
up, but this year
Have
it's
you
like
seen the pool?
Woo, I
Yes.
heard about it.
My room overlooks the pool.
They
I
won't let me
spent a
and Jimmy
half a
back
day
restraining
on
order.
some conversations, and I'm like, I just lean back and I look at the pool. I said, no, I can't go to the pool, but let's give me a joy.
It's a beautiful
It
complex.
is a
We're at
beautiful
the Gaylord property here in Kissimmee, Florida. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah,
Absolutely
yeah, yeah.
gorgeous.
And
So,
in 2 years, we'll be back in our home state or your old, I don't know, my state.
I'm still a Texan, no matter what. I may live in Florida very happily, but I'm still got a little Texas in
So we'll
me.
be in Grapevine.
Oh, that'll be
And that's in
fantastic.
our backyard.
Yeah.
So we're pumped about that.
That's where I used to go camping in the Boy Scouts, where that Gaylord is in Grapevine.
Wow,
They used to
Texas.
be way out in the boonies when I was a kid. That was an hour and a half down a two-lane country road to get out there.
And now it is just part of the whole Metroplex.
It's a whole different kind of camping.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
for sure. Russell, it's been awesome just getting to be with people. It was neat. You're within eye shot. So we've been watching you record
Yes.
just over our camera there. And Russell came down multiple times like, man, we got to come on. So at some point here, very quickly, we're going to come down, talk to Russell. Hopefully it's still a couple minutes on his show as well.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
absolutely. Guys, thanks for having
Russell.
me.
Russell,
great.
thank you so much.
Thank you so much for
Appreciate
being a
you.
sponsor.
Hey. Our pleasure.
You guys know that doing this and doing it well costs some money, right?
Time is money.
And
Then you are.
well, and you got production and all that kind of stuff, right? So very important. It really helps me do what I do, and I really appreciate you guys. So thank you so much.
It's our
Have a good one,
pleasure.
brother.
All right.
Absolutely.
Cool.
All right.
Be safe.
Peace out.